Hi, welcome to my video on the Insta360 power stick. Now, this is one of my favorite selfie sticks. I often bring this selfie stick with me on trips. I just like it for the convenience that it has a built-in 4500 milliamp battery in there and a remote control on the stick itself, which makes it one of the best selfie sticks. So I purchased this selfie stick off Amazon for £69. And when you get it, this is what you get in the box. You get the selfie stick itself and you get a USB-C to USB-C short cable and a simple little instruction booklet. And you do not get a power cable. You have to provide that yourself. I'll go through the details of this selfie stick. First of all, when closed down, it is 13 inches long. At the very top here, we have a male 1/4 inch screw thread with a knob, rotating knob here. Now we have a piece of rubber at the top here on the platform to prevent scratches to the camera when sitting on here. And at the top here, we have the words Insta360. And then we have this plastic kind of casing here, which holds a USB-C on that side and a USB-C on the other. Now that's for when you attach the cable here. You can attach the cable on either side to give the remote, to use the remote control with your camera, Insta360 camera, on either side, so you don't have to exactly turn the camera where the port is on the camera to charge it. You can use any of the ports on either side and you attach it with this cable. Now we come down the shaft here, which is made out of aluminium and coated in this nice matte black paint. We have the words Insta360 here. As you come down further, we have this nice silicone handle. Now the silicone handle altogether is about 6 inches in length. There's no kind of padding within this handle whatsoever. It's just a wrap round silicone. Then we have the controls at the front. Now the first control, well, starting from the bottom, the first control is your record button or shutter button. So if you want to press for recording and starting a video, you press that. Or if you want to take a photo, you press that button. The next button up in the middle is the power button, which is to switch on the stick itself. And it also switches off your cameras as well. So bear that in mind. So you can switch on and off your cameras with that button along with the selfie stick itself. And the next one up, which tends to look like, I'll try and get that in shot, that tends to look like a lightning bolt, is when you press that button, tells you how much power is left in the stick. So if I press that, you'll see 3 lights on there. Now the top light represents 100%, the middle light represents 50%, and the bottom light represents between 25 to 0%. Insta has done a second version of this selfie stick. Bottom now of this selfie stick, as you can see, it's just a model number and registration at the bottom of this selfie stick. Now the second version of this, which looks identical to this, has a female 1/4 inch screw thread. I have seen on other videos, some people have the 1/4 inch screw thread on the bottom. This one hasn't. And I ordered from Amazon another one of these just to check if I get the one with the 1/4 inch screw thread. So it must depend on whereabout in the world you order this from and what they send out to you. At the side of the selfie stick here, we have a USB-C port here, and that's to charge the battery, the 4500 milliamp battery in this selfie stick. Now I'm going to get asked this question and I'm going to answer it now. Does the port on the side where the remote control is here, does it do reverse charging? So could you charge your phone up with this port here? No, you can't charge your phone up with this port. It doesn't do reverse charging on this port here. If you want to charge your phone with this selfie stick, you're going to have to plug the cable into one of the 2 ports up here and charge your phone that way. Now you can't charge the selfie stick with these ports at the top here. You can it only admits out a charge with these ports here. It doesn't take in a charge. Only that port here at the side here only takes a charge into the stick to charge the battery in there. So the weight of this power stick is 278 grams. When it comes to compatibility with the cameras, first of all, the prime use of this selfie stick is with Insta360 cameras, all of their 360 cameras. Now it starts off from the X2. So if you got the X2, you can place this camera on there and it'll work, providing with all those cameras, well, I'm going to mention that you've got the latest firmware update to that camera. So it starts from the X2, the X3, the X4, the Ace cameras, from the Ace Pro 1, the Ace Pro 2, the Go cameras, from the Go 3 upwards. So the Go 2 doesn't exactly work on it. It will charge the Go 2, but it will not operate the functions on the Go 2. As far as what I believe, it doesn't do that unless there's an update for it since this video. So it's compatible with that. Now you can place other cameras on here if you want, like such as the DJI cameras, action cameras you can place on there, or the GoPro cameras you can place on there. But please bear it in mind, when you connect the cable, it will charge those cameras, but you do not get the function of the remote on there. Now, I know people are going to ask this, is this remote on here Bluetooth? No, it is not Bluetooth. The remote solely needs to be connected with the cable through one of the ports on there, and it will only operate Insta360 cameras only. X3 is now on this selfie stick itself. Now it is now charging or powering the X3. At the moment, the X3 is in a standby mode. That's due to the power stick being connected on there. So if you look on there, you can see the 3 dots light up. Now those 3 dots stay on even when using the remote. They just stay on. It's an indicator to tell you how much power is in the stick itself, which I think is good. It doesn't come off, so you don't have to keep tapping the lightning button up here to show how much power is in the stick. Now to simply switch on back on the camera, as I said, Insta360 cameras only, you simply press the power button and now the camera will start to come on, and that's it. And just to record, you just simply press the record button, or to take a photograph, you press the shutter button here. Now, a couple of things to bear in mind for you. First thing is, this is not waterproof. Even on a rainy day, I would not do this setup. If you just want to keep the stick as it is without no power, then I suggest that you close up these ports, the plugs that you can buy off AliExpress or eBay or even Amazon, which you can just simply push the caps that go over USB-C ports, and you can put a cap on there, and if you want, and the same with the port at the bottom. It gives some protection against rain, but this setup doesn't give any protection against rain. Water will get into here and just finish the selfie stick. The thing is that the power button here doubles up as a mode button. So if I press the power button, I'm starting up the camera, and if I press the power button, it does cycle through the modes. Now if I hard press on the power button, keep a long press on there, it switches off the camera. So bear that in mind. So just in case some people are going to ask me, does it go through all the modes? How do I go through the modes on here? You do it with the power button. So this is how the Insta power stick looks like when it's fully extended out. And I have to say, this is one of the most sturdiest selfie sticks I've ever come across, next to the Sandmark Action Pole Black I reviewed back on one of my other videos. This is one of the most sturdiest. It does extend out into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections. That's 5 sections. That doesn't include the handle. If you want to include the handle, then it's 6 sections it extends out to. It's well built and well sturdy. There's no give and no bend. I'll give it a wobble, give it the wobble test. I haven't done that for a long time, so I'll give that a wobble test. And there's no bend whatsoever, and the camera at the top does feel securely fastened to this selfie stick. Now, when it comes to the measurement extension length, I've taken it from the very top where the camera sits on the mount all the way to the bottom of the handle, and it measures 39.5 inches in length. Seam at the front and a seam at the back of the selfie stick. Basically, it's an indentation running all the way through the selfie stick to give it more stability and strength. This does have it. Also, I do like how they made the collars on each of these sections very, very thin on each of these sections, the plastic collars with the plastic studs in there, all in one color, all in a matte black finish, which almost gives it a stealth-like look to it as well. And also, I have to say, is the stiffness of this pole in pulling out. Pulling out these sections, it will hold on each section, and it doesn't matter which length of the section that you pull out, it will still keep its measurement or hold on each section, which I do like that. So I give a thumbs up to Insta360 over that. So now I've changed cameras on there, and this is the Insta360 Go 3. Same principle applies. You need to put this small cable, USB to USB-C cable, into any one of the 2 ports, either the port on that side or either the port on that side. I always choose the port nearest to the port on the camera, so you just get that kind of C shape here, so you don't have to stretch the cable. So same principle applies with all 360 cameras from the X2 right up to the Ace Pro 2. Same principle applies. The buttons operate the camera, providing that you've got the latest firmware updated to your camera. So to switch on the camera, same principle applies. Press the power button, because at the moment it was charging the camera when you saw the red light, and it powers up the camera. If I hold down the power button, it should switch off the camera. So holding down the power button switches off the camera. Now the record button is the same way. If I've got it in video mode and I've got it in video mode here, you should hear it make a noise, and then you should see the red light come up on the camera itself when I press the record button, and there it is. There's the record light. It's now recording. So that comes up. Now I've got it on a 2 minute or 1 minute or a couple of seconds. That's why it's come off like that. But that's what that does. Now you can do flags as well. So when you're recording, you want to flag a particular video, you press the power button on there to flag a video. So now, because I've got, and I forgot about that, if you quickly press the power button as well, it does cycle through the modes of the camera as well. It will go through the modes. Providing that you stop recording, it will go through the modes as well. One thing I've got to say is Insta360, because you're using the Go 3, don't provide you with a GoPro mount style for the camera. You don't. What you probably have to do is use the mount that comes with the Go 3, which is that kind of long stem T-shape mount, which is on a ball head. You connect that in there onto the mounting system of the power stick, and you use that. Or you can be like me and just use a third-party GoPro mount with thumb screw. They don't provide you with that, nor do they provide you on there, just in case you ask, the 360 Go 3 mount here, versatile mount. They don't provide you with that neither. Now, as you can see, I've got a different camera on there, which is not from Insta360. This is the DJI Action 4 camera on here. And the same principle applies. The cable, if you want to power the camera only, use the cable, the same cable again. Try and put it to the nearest port You can use other cables from third parties that are USB-C to USB-C. You can use those. Providing they're a data and charging cable, it will work, especially with the functions. If it's solely a longer cable you want to use and it's just a power cable, bear it in mind, you will, and you put an Insta camera on here, it may not operate the camera because it's just a charging cable only. It's not a data cable whatsoever. So if you want to use a longer cable, make sure it's a charging and data cable, especially when you're using another Insta360 camera, so that the functions of these on the remote can go through that cable to the camera. So back again, this is just a DJI Action 4 on here, and as you can see, there is a flashing green light, and we all know that flashing green light on a a DJI camera means that it's charging. So that, especially on the action cameras, means that it's charging, so it will accept the charge. Now, as you can see on the stick itself, those lights have come back again, so they stay on, but the function of the remote here no longer work, so they do not work. So bear that in mind. You can still use this with other cameras. Now, I have used this with this camera and with my DJI Pocket 3 camera, because I just use this stick personally just for the reach, for the distance, and also for the power bank within there. So I didn't mind. So if you don't mind putting another company camera on the Insta Power Stick just to power the camera, just to keep the battery topped up, then you're okay with it. You know, I didn't see any problem doing that when I use this stick with other cameras. Now here's my 2p worth on the Insta360 Power Stick. Now, out of all the Insta360 selfie sticks which I've got the whole entire range of them, but this one I reach for the most because, as I stated, it does have a 4500 milliamp battery within this stick. It's well made, like I said earlier on in the video. Now, a couple of things just to be aware of with this selfie stick. And the first things first, it has to do with the ports at the top here. First of all, this is a plastic casing up here which contains the ports in here. So be careful of handling this stick. You don't really want to drop this, especially on the mount itself up here, because you'll damage the ports and you'll damage the actual mount itself. So be aware of that. Bear it in mind that these ports are exposed. Now, you can get these little caps here which simply plug over. These caps are really for phones and laptops and stuff like that, just to cover the ports. So they're like port covers, and you can push it in there, and that gives some protection to the port, and that will protect, and it will simply protect the ports. So you can do that with this, and I suggest that you do that. And the last caveat has to be that it will only operate the remote control functions with Insta cameras only, and that's from the X2 all the way up to the Insta Ace Pro 2. It would only operate those cameras. It won't operate third-party cameras, and like I showed you earlier on in the video, it will only charge third-party cameras, just charge them. So it will only do that. This is a great selfie stick, and as I says, I have the whole entire range of Insta360 selfie sticks, especially for this channel, and I've reviewed them. When I'm going away, I always reach for this one first, and then the compact one the second. Unless I want a kind of drone shot, then I'll go for the 3-meter one. But this one is the one I go for the most. Personally, I think it is worth its money. Kind of a bit on the high price at £69. I would tend to wait for when there's a Black Friday or an Amazon Prime Day and try and get it for a bit less. You can order it from the Insta site itself. I think it's probably about a little bit cheaper. I'm not quite sure, but you can do that. But If you get this stick, selfie stick, you won't be disappointed with it when you get it.
Thanks for watching the video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. I perfectly understand my videos can be long, but I like to go into detail on the item or the product, so when you get it, you know what to expect. Please subscribe to my channel if you like the channel. I'll be grateful for that. And I'll see you next time.